Hey, welcome to Manifest Unfiltered with Crystal and Randy. Okay, so we basically are energy workers. We're both mediums, so we totally see manifestation different. That is the intent of this podcast. So, our topics for today are going to be like, how can you manifest from being in like victimhood, suffering, sacrifice mode, like kind of low vibrational mode? That's going to be one topic. The second topic is everyone always seems to focus on law of attraction, but we're going to talk about law of assumption. The third topic we want to cover is honestly, how do you know who to trust when you're taking manifestation advice or any kind of spiritual personal development advice? And the fourth thing is like, because of all these topics, we're going to talk about like mine and Crystal's story behind the scenes of why we created what we created to share that with you guys. So, again, if that interests you, please stay. Okay, so the first thing, Miss Crystal.
Hello, everybody.
Victimhood, suffering, sacrifice. So I guess I'll ask you the question. Do you feel that you can manifest when you're in those places?
I don't think that you can manifest anything different or better when you are stuck in a state of victimhood. I think you manifest the same of what you are trapped in. So if you are victim to crappy spouses, until you come out of that victimhood, you're going to continue to attract crappy spouses. Um, and I think one of the main reasons for that is because how do I word this? I'm trying to find the words. You are like me, internalized. Everything happens to you, because you're a victim. So everything happens to you, shit happens to you, bad stuff happens to you,
Mhm.
and you just cry about it because you're constantly in victimhood. But when you switch that and you come out of victimhood, then you are doing things. You are creating shit no longer happens to you. You make shit happen, shit doesn't happen to you. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Yes, to an extent, because yeah, things still do happen to you. It's just I do believe so. I believe no matter where you are in your life, things still happen to you. But it's how you handle those things and your perspective of those things, right? Because when you're in the victimhood mode, you do take it personal and you do take it as an attack and you do take, right? But if
Yeah.
I'm not in victimhood mode, or whatever you want to call it, if something shitty happens to me, just because maybe it's a life lesson or something, my perspective will be different. I'll be like, oh
See, I
shit, okay, how am I going to learn from this? What is the lesson here? What am I supposed to do next? Moving forward.
Do you remember that video we did? I can't remember. I know we did one in our course, but we also did one on YouTube, I thought, too, about like the universe testing you. So,
Yes.
yes, shit still happens to you, but
Yeah.
it doesn't happen at the same degree. Like, maybe
Yes.
different shit will happen to you, but not the same shit that you trapped you in that victimhood. As your energy shifts, maybe a lesser extent happens. And as your energy shifts again and you come out of that victimhood, then you'll see lesser stuff again until you're kind of completely out of that. But until you do, you will see that lesser degree of the same
Yeah.
stuff, so to speak.
Yeah. I just wanted to clarify
So
that.
if you
Yeah.
haven't watched that, watch the universe
I'll
testing you. It's on our videos.
yeah, I'll put it up here in a link. Yeah. It because a lot of people actually that was one of the frustrating things. A lot of people do say on social media that the universe is always testing you.
Yeah.
And it's really annoying advice. Or yeah.
I think the universe, like in some, depending on what you are manifesting, obviously it works on its own time, not on our time. Because if it did, like, I'd have it would all be instantaneously. But I lost my train of thought. I don't believe the universe tests you.
Yeah, we're talking yeah. No,
There
I
we
don't
go.
think it is. No, no. And then you're right. In that video, we do explain on Crystal's beautiful diagram drawing
Yeah,
what
my
is
crayon's
actually,
out.
yeah, what is actually happening there. So definitely check out that out. The other thing we're going to talk about, okay, so that's like victimhood. So now, um, like people, I don't want to say fall in love with, but feel very comfortable in the suffering mode and sacrifice mode. Like I have to sacrifice, I have to give up this and this in order to receive this and this and manifest this. And then, that suffering mode. Like, what do you think about those two
I
other
think
things?
that is just like it equals right in there with victimhood, like the
Mhm.
martyr, the person that has to do this, like, but then on the flip side, how many people, like when we first started deciding where we wanted to be a long time ago,
Mhm.
which was doing this, sorry. But
Yeah.
one of the things that pushed us over the edge was my closet analogy. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
How you have to give up in order to receive. If you want to manifest clothes, you have to clean out your closet to be ready to receive. And I thought that was just the stupidest thing I'd ever heard. But then it created a whole series of people who think that they have to give up something in order to receive. And it's not enough just to be normal about it. Everybody has to take it to, from a 5 to a 10. And now you're giving up like stupid stuff that you don't need to give up in order to manifest, and then patting yourself on the back and being a martyr over it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, for sure. I used to be the sacrifice mode, but mine was like work mentality. Like I have to work really, really, really hard. I have to give up some of my time freedom. I have to give up some of my like socializing. I have to work really, really hard to get the manifestations I want. So that was my obviously many moons ago, but that was my learning curve. Because I always felt like it shouldn't feel this easy. Like this is wrong. What's happening here? Is it really this easy? No, it can't. Like in my brain, it was like it can't be this easy just to manifest things you want and change your life.
Because you
Like
thought
I
you had
made
to
it hard.
struggle to make it.
Yeah, and that was so stupid of me. But I mean, I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of people do that because I think that's just how a part of us are raised in that sense. Like, in order to have success, in order to have a healthy, beautiful, loving relationship, in order to whatever it is, right? To have money, and you have to work really, really, really hard at it.
Yeah. I also find, I mean, growing up, that was like the one thing we heard repeatedly is that nothing is for free and everything only comes at the end of a hard day's work.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, like, like, how many people live like that and think like that? And
Well, I'm
and so
married to
it's
one.
okay, well, explain Trav's energy behind that. Like, but Trav is a pretty good manifester. So,
He
like,
is really good, but he
yeah,
is just like he is the most busiest body you will ever meet. And he has just got to work, 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 work.
yeah,
That'll be 90 years old, 100 years old, still working
yeah,
because he does not have an off switch.
yeah. And what do you think that's doing to him then?
Well, he's on BP meds. So there's a starter,
Mhm. Yeah,
but he can't get out of his own head.
yeah, yeah,
And he is like a hard worker and he is a good worker, you know. And he's been very successful for him to date because he's smart in that regards. You know
yeah.
what I mean? And he has a skill set that is not, you know,
He's very niche. She's very
yes, that's
desired.
the word.
He's very good at his job. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's funny because even when you guys come out here and you're supposed to chill, like Travis is like wants to do a project. It's like no,
Oh,
like
yeah.
fucking chill. We're going on the boat. We're going to the lake. We're drinking some beer. It's like no.
Yeah. Like, even if he has, like, there's no chill, like, he'll, grab his
Yeah,
chainsaw and go cut up dead trees in the bush that have fallen down. Like,
yeah, yeah,
why on 78 acres do you need to go walk out
yeah.
into the trees and cut wood?
Yeah. So I guess the moral of this story is you don't need to go through those things or behave and think that way in order to receive, in order to manifest. And it is harder to manifest the good things you want when you are in that victimhood mode and sacrifice mode because you're just, like Crystal said, you're going to keep freaking attracting the same shit.
It's hard to come out a martyr. Like, it really is, because sometimes that's really what fills some people's cup without
Yeah.
even realizing it. They
Yeah.
need that, like that little pat on the back, right? Like,
Yeah.
You did good. You did good. That the constant reward, like it's just not enough, or they just never learned, or they can't just simply be that let go and to function without getting that good girl, good boy, you did it.
Yeah, I said it. It's not, you're getting that external validation instead of the internal validation for yourself. And like, what are your intentions while you're doing this, right? Like, why are you really doing this? Yeah, to get that reward, to get that external things. But when you start to go within and you start to work with the energy, you see those things and you can change those things. And then everything is internal more. So now you question yourself more. Like, that's what happened with me, anyways. Because I was the, like I said, the sacrifice mode person and doing things for people. I was the people pleaser. My needs were never met. I was always on the back burner. And like I was a little bit like Trav, where I worked full time and then I taught yoga in the evenings. And then I had sometimes three jobs for no reason. I didn't need three jobs. But it made me feel the hustle and working hard made me feel important.
Well, sometimes I think like for Trav, I'll throw him under the bus, but I think that's how he shifts his energy too.
Mm,
Like if
mhm.
you're like, it's just a really like when he comes back to the house, he has nothing left. Like his energy is just depleted, it's cleared, it's been shifted, whatever has been going on in him. That's just his way because he's not woo woo of just working it out of his system.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you could have been one of those before you learned how to just, you know,
Deal with
do what
it.
we do. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, but it burnt me out. Like it was exhausting and stupid. And then I get resentful and bitter,
Yeah.
you know, at everyone else, not at myself because I'm not the problem, right? Even though I was the problem. But yeah, that self-awareness is a huge key in knowing your patterns, knowing what you're doing, knowing the energy behind things. Because when you
It,
are not aware, go ahead, sorry.
I was gonna say that's one of the things, like, when you first start your manifestation journey, like
Yeah.
it makes manifestation easier if you do learn those things about yourself, like where you are, but nobody wants to do the self-help, right? Like that's where they just kind of want to fall into some kind of technique. Give me a step, give me a 369 method, you know, put me through some different dimension and let me connect to somebody who doesn't exist here in the 3D and I'm going to wait for it to come.
I
And
know it's
that
the magic pill.
sometimes it's kind of like making a cake without the basic ingredients.
Yeah, everyone. Well, and we're all instant gratification society as well. Like it's hard to wait for things. It's hard to work through things. But it's so funny because once you do know those things, it's actually easier to clean up your energy and you can avoid going. So we were talking to you about like the beginning of your manifestation journey and when you're going through these things and having these aha moments like, oh fuck, I do that. Oh shit. Oh, I am in that vibration. It can get muddy, it can get murky. Like sometimes you got to walk through the shit in order to get to the other end. But sometimes you have to, but not all the time. We make it harder than it is by not having that self awareness, by not being willing to be like call yourself on things and change and not working with the energy. It's way harder.
Sometimes things, and I mean, if you're not working with the energy, and so you're not following your cues from your universe, you don't know where you are as a person, that's when I think that things really fall apart. Like the universe just literally says, we're going to shit the bed, start over. You're coming in from scratch, and your whole world feels like it falls apart. And you can hear so often, if you're on TikTok, YouTube, any of those places where they have those videos that say sometimes the world just needs to fall apart before it can fall back into place. And that's okay, it's part of the process. But you know what? It's not always part of the process. I think how bad it falls apart depends on how little you know yourself internally and how much you actually trust the universe, the process, your connection to your guides, your team, and
Mhm.
how you have the ability to control energy.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. Because I was that person now, and now I'm the energy person connected to my team. I love working with my team. I am so happy I know how to work with my team. It is the most loving, reassuring thing in the world. Like I love it.
Like when we were getting rid of our business, like
Hmm.
we had just were in it was a massive recession. We had had the big recession, and we were kind of just got back on our feet, and we were coming into another huge recession, and we made it through that one. But the love for it, you know, obviously was gone on my end, especially. And I
Yeah.
think it was starting on Trav's end too. But that connection and knowing what to do and going through that and that recovery, honestly, like, it wasn't as bad as what it needed to be. Like, or it made it easier than I look now at what could have happened. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
thank God I had that, because it was just like every day, like you're just jumping from lily pad to lily pad, putting out fires, trying to figure out which way you're going and what you're doing. And it was that connection that got me through that.
Yeah. That's pretty cool and powerful.
Yeah, it was like a huge manifestation, and it was the epitome of everything having to fall apart to be put back to something completely different. But, if I was to describe it to you, you'd probably be like, "Oh my God, what?" Well, like, in big detail, and maybe someday I will open up details about it. But for now, I'm just like, okay, it was messy. Like, imagine closing a big company with employees and
Yeah.
all of that kind of stuff. And I knew I wanted, like, just in my head, right? Like, get a buyer. It's the easiest way, it's the cleanest way. And going about that process and how my guides follow, like, step by step to do that in order to close everything up, wrap it up, and have the best outcomes for everybody.
Yeah.